what's up everybody? Welcome back to my channel. I was not planning to film a video today. We'll see if I even upload it, but I just got back from Los Angeles a couple days ago, and I've been mostly sleeping and watching esports since then. But I feel like I need to kind of give myself a bit of a, I don't even know if pep talk is the right word, but I need to start talking about certain things that keep going over in my head and that I need to, like, do. 2022 has started off as a pretty rough year for me, and I have tried very hard to not be too mopey online about it, but the truth is I just haven't really been happy so far this year. I feel like I'm in a very strange place where I know exactly what I want and where I want to be, but for the first time in my life, I'm in a spot where I don't actually know necessarily how to achieve that, because it feels like there are certain things that are out of my control, and that feeling has been really dragging me down quite a lot. And I'm kind of sick of it just going over in my head, or me complaining about it to people who are close to me, and feel like I'm kind of hiding it. So as you guys know, I'm a caster. Casting is my dream job. I'm so fortunate to be able to do it, and I love it more than anything in the world. But the start of this year has not been great for that for me, and just to the nature of it being a freelance career, you're gonna have peaks and you're gonna have troughs. And right now, I just happen to be in a little bit of a trough. I was obviously disappointed to not be asked to be on the main talent roster for VCT EMEA this year. Don't begrudge anybody for it. It happens. But naturally, I was hoping to be offered that work. I've been very lucky to have been granted permission not only to co-stream VCT NA, which is like my heart, and also VCT EMEA now as well. So that's great for me, and I'm so thankful for it. But I love streaming, but I am just one of those people who really struggles to sit inside the house all day, every day. So streaming takes a lot of mental fortitude from me just because of that. Like, I like to leave the house. I like to have a reason to leave the house. The other thing with streaming is I don't really have a reason to like study. I'm not constantly learning with streaming. So it's been a lot of work for me to try and get into the swing of streaming more. I really enjoy it, but I'm obviously missing the fact that like I haven't really been casting so far this year, because that's where I get a ton of fulfillment from. The other thing, and this is something that I've spoken more and more about online, especially over the last couple of months, is over the course of COVID, one of the biggest things that I wanted was to be able to travel. I didn't really care what was happening within the UK as long as I could leave the UK. And the longer that it went on without me being able to leave the UK, the more frustrated and agitated I got. Now, eventually the opportunity came to finally leave the country. And basically at the end of 2021, I had about 3 months solid just abroad. A lot of it was for work, some of it wasn't for work, but I barely spent any time in the UK at the end of the year, and it was everything I needed. The thing is, though, that feeling started to build over time, and in the end, it wasn't just, I want to travel, it was, I want to leave. Like, I don't want to live here anymore. And that's a very strange feeling for me, because growing up and well into my early 20s was always that person who I was like, I just want to stay in London for the rest of my life. This is the most incredible city on the planet. I don't want to leave. I have everything I need here. And to be honest, those feelings didn't change. Like, I don't suddenly dislike London or feel like I don't have everything I need here. But I just got to this point where I realized I'm 25 now. I've only ever known here. I've only ever lived really in the southeast of England. I love London. I do think it's the most incredible city on the planet. But I no longer find it fulfilling to have only ever been here. And that feeling of being somewhere that I don't want to be anymore has gradually been really tearing me apart. I really want to be in North America, and I have a lot of problems with North America as a place. I think that a lot of the infrastructure that we have here in Europe is better than what they have in North America. As somebody who doesn't drive, that's obviously a huge problem. And part of the reason that I don't drive is because I have a pre-existing medical condition, which is also a big problem when it comes to living specifically in the USA as opposed to Canada. And these are all things that I have thought about a lot over time, and still I can't shake the feeling that I want to leave. Even if I go for a year and I hate it and I come back, I will still feel like I made the right decision, because right now I feel like I'm in this limbo where the longer I go on here, it's like I feel like if I get to the age of 30, which I will turn 30 in 2026. If I get to the age of 30 and I've still only ever been here and I'm no closer to leaving, like, I will consider that a personal failure. I grew up in a household where one of my parents was always abroad. I work in an industry where so many of my friends and people I know have lived in countries that they weren't born in, or currently live in countries that they weren't born in. People get to travel a lot, and that is something that has just turned into something that I deem to be incredibly important in what I want for my life. I don't really want to go through my life knowing that I was only ever here. And the thing with that is it means that I don't want to make any commitments to here. So the really obvious example is relationships. If I've decided that I don't want to live here much longer, then why would I want to get into a relationship that's based here? Because that's a long-term commitment and I'm cementing myself here. It also means that I'm not going to be looking to buy a house here like anytime soon or whatever, because it's a commitment that I don't want. So my personal life feels like it's in a big limbo as well, because I've put everything into suspended animation based on the fact that I just need to sustain myself here, but not commit. And this is the thing, is doing what I do, I can't just choose to leave. Unfortunately, the USA does not have a digital nomad visa. There are a number of countries around the world that offer this, Canada being one of them. It's something I've looked into quite a lot. You can essentially get a visa for being a freelancer to go and work in that country, but the USA doesn't have that, which means that I don't really know what to do. The longer time goes on, the more I get incredibly frustrated about it. I've been back to California twice in the last couple of months, and I plan to go again in another 2 months. And it is really just my happy place. And it's very frustrating to return from California and feel my mood change so drastically. I had this in November when I got back from California at the end of November, and I felt depressed. And I've never suffered from depression. I think a lot of it was based on daylight hours and warmth. I like warm environments. I like long daylight hours. And I got back to the UK to like 4 p.m., 3 p.m. sunsets. And it was cold and not nice. Whereas like, even though the sun was going down quite early in California back then as well, there is always this, on the West Coast, this lingering light that stays in the air. So it feels much longer. The days are warmer, you know, and to me, that makes a huge difference. And to be honest, it's probably one of the biggest reasons why I'm not jumping at the chance to move to Canada, which I probably could do now if I wanted to, because the actual environment, like the weather, is not really that much different. In fact, it's going to be colder there. It's very frustrating to be in a position where I feel like I am so full of ambition and motivation, and I know where to put the work in. I know what to do. I know what my strengths are. I know what my weaknesses are, and I know how to work on all those things. But I actually don't know what the next step is. Like, I don't know what, you know, like I find that I think about what I know I want my life to be and what I want it to look like. And I'm like, I want to be able to have a proactive option to get myself there, or at least get one step closer there. And in this moment, and I know this feeling isn't going to last forever, and it might not even last a very long time, but in this moment, I don't currently feel like I have that power, and that is very difficult. I'm trying really hard to work on content and stuff, and really focus on what is going on in particularly Valorant, because I love this game and this is where I want to be. But I'm still like, okay, I can have a really meticulous plan with that, but I'm still just like, what am I doing? I get a lot of people who message me like complimenting me about work that I do, and it means a lot to me. There are people in the industry who have said certain things about my work that I have never forgotten and will always appreciate. And it's things like that that make me think like, okay, it's fine, it's just a lull, but it's I don't know, it's a difficult place to be. And I feel like I've just had a really difficult couple of months with these feelings like really bearing down on me. I just got back from Los Angeles. I had a really nice time there, and I needed to be there. Like I needed to leave the UK and go there just to be back in the place where I feel happy. But now I'm back again and obviously not thrilled about it. So what I'm saying, if any Americans out there want to get married, no, joking. You know, I'm not the kind of person who's going to stop working hard at anything. And I want to earn everything that I achieve. And if I'm not at a spot where I'm good enough to earn those things yet, then I will just keep working on them. But it's just, I feel like I just needed to kind of like get this out. Because it's been stewing for a while, and I've tried really hard to not necessarily talk about it on social media because I don't ever want to look like I'm putting blame on anybody else, or that I'm like complaining instead of working, or whatever. But now that I'm back in the UK and I need to get back into the swing of things, I just wanted to like candidly discuss these things, candidly talk about them, because I mean, as well, I suspect that there are a ton of things I haven't considered, like things that I could do. And it'll be nice when things are okay. And I've done this before. I remember around the time that I graduated from university, around the time that I had my actual graduation, which was about 6 months after I graduated from university, that was when I had just spent like a couple months like trying out really low-level broadcast stuff, and I was like, okay, I want to make this my job. And I was like, what if it doesn't work? Because I'm not a student anymore. Like, I don't have a student loan to pay for my home. Like, this is jumping off the cliff. And I was super stressed about it. And you know what? Everything was totally fine. So I've been in that situation before, and I know that in the end, things turn out, things are totally fine. Like, I personally feel like I am good enough at my job that things aren't going to go to total shit. That doesn't mean it doesn't feel like shit right now. So this will be something to look back on, and I'll be like, she had no idea she was gonna be cast in that Oscar-winning movie. That's not gonna happen. But yeah, I just wanted to get it out. Thank you guys for listening. I'm curious to know, I mean, if any of you like feel similarly or have felt similarly, or what your thoughts are. Feel free to give your unsolicited opinions on my life, except they're not unsolicited because I'm asking for them. And I will see you guys very soon in something that is more relevant to actual esports.